Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this afternoon session of the Stock Market Show. My name is Frazer. I'm the online editor and technology writer at Shares magazine. We have 5 ambitious growth companies here to present to you. They're desperate to tell their story. I'm sure you'll find them fascinating. They're companies I know quite well, and their stories are interesting and potentially exciting. Before we introduce those speakers, I would like to take a moment to set the scene for the wider technology space. However, before we get that far, we do have to go through our housekeeping duties, unfortunately. So please bear with me, I'm going to read out a short statement. You'll have heard it before. As there is a huge amount to get through, we will not have time for any Q&A. You may well have questions for the presenters. Please do so and talk to them during the session break or in the exhibition hall later on. As you will see, we are videoing the sessions. These will be made available at the show website later on. And we will email you to let you know when it's up and running. This seminar is intended for education purposes only. And as such, it is not a solicitation, endorsement, or recommendation to make an investment. Based on the content of this seminar, where investment types are mentioned, please be aware there are other options available. Opinions expressed in the seminar are those of the presenters and not of the show organisers, Shares Magazine and the London Stock Exchange. The show organisers accept no liability for any losses caused by the use of information. If there is any doubt over the suitability of a particular investment, you should seek independent advice. Tax treatment depends on the individual circumstances of each person and may be subject to change in the future. Okay, now we've got that boring bit out of the way. I'm going to talk to you about some exciting things as I see it in the technology space. These are emerging things happening today, and things for the next year, next 2 years, and years beyond. Going mobile, big data, super connectivity, the Internet of Things. You may have heard of that term. I'll explain more about that later. Keeping us safe, IT security, and the search for power, new energy. How are we going to power all of these electrical devices? I'll start off with a small anecdote. When I was a young lad, I always wanted a Swiss Army knife. Mum and Dad said no. Many years later, I had a Swiss Army knife. This is my electronic Swiss Army knife. This is a smartphone. I'm sure you've all got one in your own pocket. This is an incredible device. I can waste time with enormous efficiency with this device. I can connect via social networks to people I never even realised I wanted to talk to. I can even talk to people on it. But it's so much more than just a phone. In this box is a computer as powerful as something about as big as this room from 30, 40 years ago. The key thing with a device like that is it opens our eyes to opportunities. We can get education, we can get entertainment, we can get communication across a multitude of ways. It's a truly magnificent, disruptive technology. And what I mean by disruptive technologies is it helps us do the normal things we do better, more efficiently, faster. Or it opens up an array of new opportunities, do different things, take different opportunities. That's what disruptive technologies do. To move on to our first theme, going mobile. These are not, surprise to surprise, designed specifically to make you work harder, longer, stay at the office, work at the weekend, work from the beach on holiday. That's a misconception. These are genuinely useful devices. According to our friends at Statista, the statistics portal, over 4 billion people have a mobile device now. By 2017, the estimation will be over 5 billion. Now, as the global population stands, around 7 billion, that's going to be 5 in every 7 people will have a mobile device, right across the world. But that's not the most interesting thing, because what's more interesting is how we're using these devices. As I mentioned earlier, we're not really talking so much. Voice minutes are on the decline, have been for several years. Text messaging reached a peak, it's over that peak, it's in decline. The key growth market is data. You'll see from those circles just how big an opportunity it is. Even in the mature markets of the US, North America, Europe, vast amounts of data are predicted to be flowing through our devices over the next few years. The reason? Simply because we're using the internet more. Email communication, social networks, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Twitter. We are no longer relying on the old-fashioned dynamics of phoning someone up. Consider this fact. In the mid-1990s, the amount of data the average person was generating in an entire year, we are now generating in 60 seconds. Now just consider that, 60 seconds. In 20 years, from a year's worth of data, 60 seconds. And this growth is exponential, as this slide shows. Thing 2, big data. Some of you won't have heard this before, some of you will question what it is. It basically means digital information that is so big, so fast, so hard to quantify and analyse that it needs new technologies in order to manipulate it, make it useful. When I go home from here, I'll probably be on a CCTV camera somewhere. Images captured. That's collected and stored somewhere. I'll get on the tube, my Oyster card records my journey, where I come on, where I get off. When I walk around with my smartphone, Wi-Fi signal all around me, giving location data, all being collected. Then there's the emails I might send, there's the websites I visit, there's the tweets I send out, there's my text messages. All of this is recorded somewhere. How can we make this usable? This needs entirely new architectures of technology, new tools to be able to analyse, draw from this vast hub of information, to learn lessons about the past and make predictions about the future. Consider I go to the shop, spend my loyalty card in a supermarket. All of that spending habit, that's all logged. They can start sending me vouchers. Oh, I haven't bought my regular case of beer. I haven't bought my Kinder Surprise this month. Let's send Steve a Kinder Surprise voucher, 2 for 1. I go to the ATM, log my location again, log my cash habits, my debit card, my credit card. These are all ways we can encourage people, we can learn about our habits, and we can present new opportunities of how to spend our money, how to save money, how to invest our money. When I say big data, let me just demonstrate how big we're talking about. You've probably heard of megabyte and gigabyte. Terabyte increasingly, lots of laptops and computers these days have a terabyte of memory. What is a terabyte? A terabyte can store about 200,000 pictures or songs, if that's what you like. 200,000. Now I like music. I've got about 20,000 tracks, I reckon, give or take. 200,000. Blimey. That even Bill Wyman could collect all that in a year. We've got a petabyte. We're looking at 16 server computers over 2 racks in a data center. Jump to the extremes. A yottabyte, and we're nowhere near getting to that kind of data generation at the moment. That'll be years in the future. But it will take data centers that would cover the entire states of Delaware in the US and Rhode Island. They're small states, but still big landmass. This is the expected growth of the big data opportunity. You see it tapers down as it becomes harder to grow. But these might well end up being very conservative estimates. We're looking at 50%, 59%, 54%. It's exponential growth, this. On to theme 3. This is my superconnectivity and Internet of Things. Internet of Things you'll have heard about before, possibly. It's about connecting everything. We start off in small doses. So my phone talks to my tablet talks to my telly talks to my hi-fi system. So I can sit on my sofa, don't have to get up, I can go and change the channel on my telly, and I can go and load up the song I want to load up. Easy. But there's so much more. We're talking about healthcare applications, we're talking about putting sensors in the tarmac of roads, so the local authority can be alerted when the road is starting to run thin, so we don't have to wait for the pothole to emerge. It's a vast opportunity. Just the general house, lighting controls, your thermostat, energy usage, smart metering, your garage door. Drive up in your car and the garage actually recognises your car as it approaches and the door just opens automatically and closes again. So many opportunities in the home, window controls, security, door controls, heating, converged entertainment devices. These are some of the things that we're already seeing happen, and yet there's so much more opportunity out there. According to our friends at Gartner, this is how big it is. They say by 2020 there will be 26 billion units, not just smartphones, but all the kinds of devices I've been talking about. Industry agrees. John Chambers, the CEO of Cisco Systems, giant US company. Networking is their game. He reckons it's a $40 trillion profit opportunity. And he went on record and said, not revenue, this is profit. Now that's a vast opportunity. Gartner again, products and services generate international revenue exceeding $300 billion by 2020. Now there's no single company that's going to capture all of that. There are multiple opportunities to grab a piece here, grab a piece there, and we have to spot those opportunities. This provides new game planning for the UK too. We know Google and Apple, lots of applications on our phones. Some of them are British, many of them are not. But there is a thriving application, design and build industry in this country. Again, our friends at Statista, they reckon that there's exponential growth in this part of the market too. On the stock market, there are no application-specific companies at the moment. None that I'm aware of anyway. Perhaps this will change in time. Perhaps we'll see IPOs over the horizon. Small design firms come to the market with new applications, allowing all of us to benefit from smart metering technologies and running our homes more efficiently and improving our lives. Theme 4. IT security. I won't labour this point because we have a presenter who's a much bigger expert in this than I am. Actually, Stevenson will be presenting very soon from Career Networks Security. But just to go through some basic stuff. Financial scams, ID theft, you've heard of all this before, virus attacks, disruption to national infrastructure. Just to put some colour on this is the worldwide security spending from 2010 to 2015 in the US. Beyond that chart, the bars just go up and up and up. This is the trend just in security management in the UK. Bars going up and up and up. IT security is a fundamental of our future. The more we go digital, the more we include our devices, the more we need to make sure we're safe. These are the kinds of things that companies are doing with that money. Advancing perimeter controls and extension deployments and a whole bunch of other stuff that actually we'll be able to tell you much more about. Final thing. How do we power all of this? We know our fossil fuels are depleting and dirty assets. Coal and oil and gas. We have new energy already. Wind farms. We also have solar panels, thanks to the Chinese flooding our markets with cheap solar panels. Prices have come down to the point where solar energy is now competitive, or close to, with fossil fuels. Hydroelectric power, where we use the gift of water and gravity to provide electricity. But there are more exciting other opportunities too. Fuel cells spring to mind. Graphene. It's a wonderful molecular material made of carbon. Superconductivity will allow us hopefully to transfer energy from place to place much more efficiently in the future. These are all things for the future. The key thing to remember here is we must continue to provide the investment for ongoing R&D. And we must not be afraid of failures. It's always worth trying to do something and failing because we can learn from those lessons.